IVM.
So it's been a great week on IVM, and I hope that you're listening to as many shows as you can. If you're not following us on social media, we're on IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. First, I'm going to tell you about a few new shows that we launched. Last week, we launched a show called Marbles Lost and Found with Zen and Avanti. It's a show about mental health, which I think is a fairly interesting conversation to have, and you should enjoy it. We also have a new fictional fun storytelling show for all of our listeners. Croc Tales by Anand Sivakumaran is a bi-weekly show where Anand spins a story from a prompt that could be a word or phrase coming from you. Catch these episodes every Monday and Thursday. On Simplified this week, the trio dig further into the Football World Cup history with some trivia and silly jokes on a longer episode. On The Scene of the Unseen, Amit Verma is joined by stand-up comedians Aditi Mittal and Abbas Momin to talk about the pros and the cons of the Indian comedy scene. On Cyrus Says, Cyrus does an exit interview with his producer Naveen Narona. Naveen's going to be terribly missed around here. If you're not following him, please follow him on Twitter and Instagram. He's at House of Narona. Try and listen to as many of these shows as you can. And now, on to your show.
Welcome to another dose of positivity. You've just tuned into episode 13 of the Positively Unlimited podcast, and in today's A to Z of positive action, we've pulled the card M. M for Make Conscious Choices. But before I tell you what this episode is about, I'm going to let you in on a secret. This episode has a surprise gift for 2 lucky winners at the end, so make sure you listen to the full episode. This series of the Positively Unlimited podcast on the IVM Podcast app and website is based on a deck of cards that I have created. This deck that I call the A to Z of Positive Action holds 26 cards and 26 mindsets. It comes with a workbook that has exercises and tips on how to build different mindsets, one from each letter of the alphabet. If this is the first time you are tuning in, make sure you check the IVM app or website for the previous episodes. And that, to me, would be making a conscious choice. We're all constantly making choices. Should I snooze for 10 minutes or go for my run? Should I eat upma or eggs for breakfast? Should I set up the meeting for this week or maybe next? Through the day, we make a whole bunch of choices. But most of these are made without giving it much thought or from a superficial space. When you make a conscious choice, you are choosing to experience something. It's made from a space of awareness, and it takes you closer to an aspiration or to a life space that you want to create or experience. But making all these mundane routine choices through the day, we've forgotten how to choose from a conscious space. At this moment, we're choosing from a, I don't have time for this, or then let's get on with it, or then a space that I call, there's no option but this. And this needs to change. Here's what I want you to mull over for a moment. There is always a choice. You may not like the options available, but there is always a choice. Also, sometimes you have to choose that which you don't like because it's the only way through this journey, or it holds an important lesson for you. You know, ironically, most of us learn to make conscious choices when we learn to say no. How many of y'all just had that, oh my God, I can never say no, thought pass through your head just now? Let me just say, it's a normal struggle. All of us face it in some relationships of our life. Some of us face it in every aspect, as in the skill to say no just does not exist. So let's use this as an example to understand making conscious choices. Awareness. It's turning out to be my favorite word in this series. If you've heard the previous episodes, you can start counting how many times I say it. But awareness is the key. So say you intend to stay home growing roots on your couch on a Sunday. And suddenly you have friends screaming to go for a brunch. You've had a hectic week and the idea of getting dressed and being social is just not happening. But you cannot say no, right? So you drag yourself through yet another hectic but fun Sunday, and then you sulk saying no one thinks about you, not even your friends. Why was it so hard for you to say no? Because you have FOMO. You don't want to miss out on anything. Or because you don't want to be called boring. Or was it because Mr. Guilt will pull the quilt off you through your Sunday nap? To make a conscious choice, you have to be aware of your thinking and feeling patterns. You have to know what's more important to you and what would you rather experience. Saying no also means you have to accept that you cannot make everyone happy all the time. It also means making yourself a priority. Both of these are conscious choices you will have to make. Now think about the life that you are living. Think about the life you want to live. And learn to make choices that can take you from where you are today to where you want to be. Making conscious choices involves doing things with a purpose. Start with small daily habits, but you eventually want to focus on how you are making those big life choices. Let's consider another situation. Your boss gives you a task and asks you to set the deadline. You set up a comfortable deadline, but when it comes to doing the work, it's always last minute. What do you think needs to change? Maybe, just maybe, it would be better if you broke the work down and did something every day, right? That way you could finish it on time without feeling the pressure of that no longer comfortable deadline. This requires you to make a conscious choice. You need to choose to feel something other than stress and that, oh my God, how am I ever going to finish it feeling. That's a conscious choice. You cannot remain stuck on the but I can only work on things last minute notion. It's a story you've been telling yourself. Well, make a conscious choice to change that story today. Scenario 2 is when you end up setting too tight a deadline. But then again, this is nothing new for you either. You're always overpromising things. Why? What is this need to please that you are feeding? Or then is it approval, appreciation of some sort that you are seeking? Ask yourself what's going on and understand your own capacity, your pace. Make a conscious choice to treat yourself differently starting today. And while we are talking about making conscious choices, how about you consciously choose to head on to the IVM Instagram accounts for a Positively Unlimited contest? On Instagram, look for @IVM Podcasts and look for the Positively Unlimited contest post. Step 2, answer this very simple question by leaving a comment on that post. What is your favorite positive action tip from all the episodes of the Positively Unlimited podcast? 2 lucky winners will get a pack of the limited edition tea created by Tea of Life, aptly called Positivity, as in TEA, get it? The contest is only on for this week, 2nd to 8th July 2018. And yes, I am making sure you've been listening to the A to Z of positive action. Before I sign off, think of a space in your life where you need to be choosing more consciously. And write 3 steps that you can take this week to consciously move yourself towards this change. Just a gentle reminder that all previous episodes are on the IVM Podcast app, website, and other podcast platforms. You can connect with me on Instagram. My handle is @PositivityAngel, or write to me on chetna@circleofpositivity.com. Details about the Positive Action deck are on my website, circleofpositivity.com. So until next Monday, make those conscious choices. Change that which needs to change and allow yourself to live your potential.
As you can see, we have a podcast listener in his natural habitat. Billions of years of evolution have led him to this point. He's on his way to work and listening to podcasts makes his miserable day better. He will now head to work and use all his knowledge to communicate with other colleagues and possibly future mates. You can find more of his species on ivmpodcasts.com, your one-stop destination where you can check out all the coolest Indian podcasts. Happy listening.